You just couldn't resist, could you? Yeah, right.
Resist what? Presenting solid evidence?
Might the request be put the correct cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would likely call a new witness. State your name and occupation for the record.
I'm familiar with the trial. I've watched the video several times.
Didn't you find anything unnatural about it?
Unnatural? Well, you did seem unusually well prepared. I mean, Mr. Wright had only just presented his evidence. And in the next moment, you call in Drew Martian. It was almost as if...
Almost as if... what?
Funny. It didn't even occur to me to wonder. But now that I do, it seems there's only one possible explanation. Almost as if, from the very beginning, you knew Mr. Wright was going to present that evidence.
Correct. I knew that if I applied the usual pressure, Phoenix Wright would eventually come up with a forged diary page. Don't do this, Clavier. I knew because you told me, Christoph.
What? What?
It was the night before the trial. Clavier. Christoph? I was seeing you in the prosecutor's office the day before the trial. I won't be appearing in the trial, actually. Huh? Why not? I won't be fetching off with you first trial, apparently. But in exchange, I brought information. Information? The attorney who will be there tomorrow in my place is not to be trusted. Don't even give him the benefit of your respect. Listen. I want you to call in a special witness. Then. I wondered about it at the time. How did Christopher know so much?
Prosecutor Gavin.
Christoph, we were supposed to face each other in the trial. A fair fight, brother to brother. I deserved that much. You let me borrow the victim's belongings. You showed me all your research on the case. The victim's belongings?
Which would have to include McNiffy's diary, wouldn't it?
Mr. Gavin? My, Clavier. You disappoint me. You find trees, yet miss the forests.
You're the one missing the forest, Mr. Gavin.
You can't sweep under the rug, not anymore. Tell me what was going on behind the trial. Why not? I've achieved what I've come here to do. I see no harm in a little random seating. Apollo!
I think we're finally going to shine the light on the black belly of this, Trucy. We've done everything we could. I hope it's enough.
7 years ago, the day before the trial, I visited the detention center at the request of my client, Zach Grimari. 2 cards. 1 card. Showdown time. Enough. You lose, Gavin. Thanks for the work. Now go. To be honest, I don't know what his reasons were to this day. As far as I could tell, he dismissed me as if his reputation because I lost in a game of poker. I can come to no other conclusion. Daddy used to say something. If you want to know a man, you have to compete.
Zach wasn't watching the plates or the cards. He was watching the man behind the cards, Christoph Gavin.
I couldn't believe it. Phoenix Wright? A second-rate attorney who relies on luck and bluffs? He dismissed me and went with the pitiful excuse of a man. He deserved to die for that error alone.
Hold it. So the request of the forgery was...
Oh, I'm not admitting to anything. My point is, these 2 men shamed me, and I could not forgive that. Phoenix Wright and Zach Grimari both deserve what they got.
So you asked Mr. Martian to forge that evidence so you could win? But then you were dismissed as Zach Grimari's attorney. You used the forged evidence as a trap.
You fed me information about the forgery you made. Then you gave your dirty evidence to him. You're free to imagine what you will. My point is that all I had imagined had come to pass. Everything went perfectly. Huh. Incredible. If I wasn't laughing, I'd weep.
Muscular Gavin?
Perfectly. You're mad, Kirstef. Hey, I don't like that joke. Stop fooling yourself. What are you talking about, Clavier? Tell me, how did that trial end?
Cancelled when the defendant vanished.
Ah, I get it. So, Kirstef, you've been lying for 7 years. What?
You were afraid your forgery would be revealed and your reputation trashed. You couldn't leave things a chance, so you watched everyone involved in the case for 7 years.
You know, he always felt like he was being watched. That's what he said every day for 7 years. But I thought the two, sure he is being watched, end quote. Don't you wonder why Zach and Mari got rubbed out every 7 years? Because right after coming in contact with me?
But wait just a minute. Zach Romari was seen by this reporter? How is that possible? Was he alive after being gone for 7 years? Finally. I knew this moment was coming. I just didn't think we'd get here so fast. Zach Romari, gone missing for 7 years. Trucy's father.
What's wrong, Apollo? Go get him.
Right. Leave it to me. Allow me to refresh the court's memory. 6 months ago, Christopher Gavin was charged with murdering the mysterious traveler. I remember him quite well. Shetty Smith, was it? Poison in a Chinese restaurant. Tragic. The details don't really matter right now. What matters is that that traveler was Zach Romari.
What is it, Apollo?
Huh?
Keep going. We'll talk about it later.
Did she already know? Someone please explain this! Mr. Justice, can you explain this? It all started 7 years ago. The great magician Magnifique Grimari's death started it. Magnifique Grimari's death and the student Zach Grimari the suspect. Whoever defended Zach in court successfully would be famous beyond belief. Thinking that, Christopher Gavin did the unthinkable. He forged evidence. Drew Marsham? Actually, it was his daughter, Vera, who really did the work. You took precautions when you had that forgery made, didn't you, Mr. Gavin? Precautions?
To keep people from talking, of course.
These two know too much. Leave them alive and there'll be nothing but trouble. That's what when you plan your poisoning of forgers.
Anacline. Applied to a ceremony of stamp.
The luck was on Mr. Marsham's side. The bomb didn't go off. His daughter! She saved him by taking the stamp, I see. But that wasn't the only bomb he set up.
They are naughty nail polish, of course.
You noticed something when you requested that forgery. When Vera Marsham is nervous, she has a bad habit. A tendency to bite her nails. The nail polish was her good luck charm. She was almost kidnapped once. Since then, she's been, well, as you can see for yourself. She refuses to leave the house.
That person gave me a good luck charm for when I absolutely had to go outside. It protects me.
Yes, apparently she received something. A gift. She won't tell me what it was. It was from the client. The one that wanted that note made. It was his insurance. Insurance? As long as she lived quietly at home, there was no danger to her. But what if she had to go outside?
If she ran into any trouble, she'd become nervous. And the nail polish would do the rest.
His time bomb sat there for 7 years. And then they went off almost simultaneously.
If you're finished, may I return to my cell now? I'm not accustomed to standing for such long periods of time.
Mr. Gavin, Have you heard a single thing we've said?
Oh, I listened quite closely to your little tale. Quite an entertaining piece of fiction.
What?
Clavier, surely you understand. We're back to the evidence. The lacking evidence. Nothing proves a link between him and the Anaquine that took Martian's life.
What about the restaurant? You killed Zachary to keep him from talking.
I killed no man of that name. Read over the report again if you like. The victim was a traveler by the name of Shady Smith, about whom we know little else. You can't seriously think I knew who that particular figurative.
Okay, then why did you kill him?
I plead my right to remain silent. Remember, this court did not come here to put me on trial. The defendant's name is Vera Marsham, suspected in the murder of her father. My trial has been finished for 6 months now.
I'm afraid we have to strain considerably for our purpose here. This court serves with the witness. Is the defendant Vera Marsham who's on trial here?
No, but we're doing so good. Apollo!
As long as there is no evidence to support the accusation against him, this court of inquiry cannot find Vera Marsham innocent. Your Honor, Phoenix Wright spent 7 years collecting this evidence.
You still don't get it, do you? Let us assume there was poison in the nail polish. Who then was responsible for causing Vera Marsham to bite her nails?
What?
It wasn't me, I know that much. The one who brought the poison to her lips was you.
What?
Evidence is everything. There is nothing more.
I believe the discussion has reached its conclusion. Your Honor. Mr. Justice, you have performed admirably well for a novice attorney. I respect your partner, Phoenix Wright's determination as well.
However, without direct proof, you have nothing. Isn't that right, Clavier? Unfortunately, yes, Christoph, you're right. That is, you would have been right until just now. What? Did the news not reach your desk in solitary? The eyes of the nation in the courtroom today. This is a trial case for the new judicial system.
That's right. I totally forgotten. The juris system.
Jurist, you say?
The current judicial system has been deemed too close off for society. The new system attempts to inject the wisdom of common citizens into the law.
Common citizens? Wisdom? Is this some kind of a joke? What can we possibly gain by doing this? Entrusting our judicial system to a mindless emotional mob of irrational mouth breathers?
Common citizens have something called common sense. Common sense is not restricted by law.
Nonsense. This is a room for two in this court, me and the law.
Keep the riff out, I say. They're not in court, actually. They're watching everything by video camera.
And if you notice, Apollo, Clavier, and Trucy turned to look at you. How can you allow this?
Incidentally, the one responsible for making this happen was Phoenix Wright.
Phoenix Wright? Sorry, man, got in the way there.
So, everything was leading to this, of course, right? Right. I won't accept. I can't accept. This is no court. Law is everything. Law is absolute. You let ignorant swine soil your courts?
Christoph, it's over.
Clavier.
Law is absolute? You can't be serious.
What?
I thought you spent your life looking for loopholes. Law isn't absolute. It's full of contradictions.
The law is the end product of many years of history, the fruit of human knowledge. Like a gem polished to the gleam through trials and errors.
That sounds like something Rarity would say. It is the fruit we receive, pass on, face in our time. And it is always changing, growing, nurturing it is the task as human beings. Except for you, Kristoff. You aren't changing. You've stopped. You're not needed anymore.
I couldn't think of anything to say. Maybe because I still haven't seen enough. But someday, I'll know what law is. And I'll fight to change it if I have to.
I see no need to further prolong this trial. This began the trial as Mayor Marsham accused of murdering your father. The painter, Drew Marsham, however. Several other incidents were revealed, and we seem to have reached a conclusion. Before this court declares a verdict, I await your decision. Jurors of the court. For the death of Drew Marsham, how do you find the defendant Vera Marsham? Innocent or guilty? I turn to you to consider this matter. October 9th, 12:48 p.m., Juris Chambers. This ends the trial for the case. Only the verdict remains to be decided. Defendant Vera Marsham is currently in intensive care. If a decision cannot be reached today, it may never be reached. The factors involved are simple. Did the defendant poison your father that night? If so, she is guilty. Or was there another reason for Mr. Marsham's death? Did another person poison him? If so, she is innocent. A panel has been provided for each of you to input your decisions. That is all. Please, wait. Yes, jurist number 6? There's something in the jurist handbook here. Persons involved with the case may not be jurists. That is correct. I've looked into all your disclosures. None of you were involved with the development of the case. With the development of the case? I see. Does that answer your concern? It's time for your verdicts. Make your decision in the case against Vera Marsham. After 7 years, the truth is ready to be heard. Judge wisely, judge well. Oh, hey, look who it is. It's Lamori. And there's her hand. Judge the defendant wisely. So is she not guilty? Or is she guilty? You know what? I'm going to let you choose. Click the annotation over either not guilty or guilty. Now you're probably thinking, wait, can we trust this guy with annotations? Well, I put an annotation on one of my at the beginning of case 4. I don't see why I can't now. And if I don't put an annotation, you can yell at me in the comments. Yell at me until I do. So, if you think she's guilty, click on guilty. If you think she's not guilty, say guilty. The choice is yours.